Let's get into the next topic. Is it right for water bills to go up by 36%? 0207 862 2222 is the number. So, 36%. That's how much the average bill will rise over the next 5 years, we're told, after firms got the green light from the regulator Ofwat this morning. In cash terms, that means bills going up by an average of £31 per year and will total an extra £588 by the next decade. Ofwat said the money will help clean up rivers and seas. I thought they were supposed to be doing that anyway. Meanwhile, it's been reported today that most water firms increased bonuses for bosses last year. They went up by an average, this is how much they went up by, £180,000. And almost, by the way, 60,000 homes across Hampshire are without water because of some sort of technical issue at Southern Water, which could continue until just before Christmas. So if you're one of those homes, do call us. So, Owen, I don't know, you're probably cross about this.
I'm not happy about it. Do you know how much water bills have gone up since privatisation of water in 1989?
No, tell me.
360%. And we were told...
That's adjusted for inflation or not?
Probably not. I mean, obviously...
Yeah. I know in real terms,
Definitely not in real terms.
You could buy a house for £5 back then.
In real terms, they've gone up a huge amount. I'll double check 360% if it's real terms. But in any case, we were told at the time that it would mean lower prices, competition, it'd be good for consumers, and it hasn't. And just to show you what we could have done to lower those bills, and we should do now, because you mentioned the salaries, since privatisation, shareholders have got £78 billion in dividends. That money could instead have gone to investing in the infrastructure, because what they failed to do, because every year shareholders get an average of £1.6 billion a year, they could have invested that, and we know they could have done that, because in Scotland, where it's publicly owned, they spend 35% more on infrastructure, and that in Britain would have meant, in England, sorry, would have meant £28 billion. Okay. Even Camilla Cavendish, that well-known lefty, former advisor to David Cameron, wearing that well-known lefty rag to Financial Times, privatising what was never going to work. It means higher prices, and it means just
Okay, I will come to Reem in a second, but let me just go, because we've got somebody in Southampton. I wanted to hear from someone in Hampshire, because, Jackie, you are one of the... Is it 60,000 homes without water?
It is, yeah. Hello, everyone.
I heard it on the news this morning. I couldn't believe it. In the run-up to Christmas, so you can't even run a bath, you can't do anything.
Can't do anything. No, they've said that we've been off for 3 days now, and they've said it probably won't be back on till Sunday. Queued for an hour yesterday for bottled water. They've now run out, but if you take your empty bottles back, they'll fill it up from the tanker. You know, it's just ridiculous, and I've got the whole family at Christmas, so you know, if it goes then, don't know what we do.
It's quite shatters your confidence, doesn't it? What do you think, Reem?
Well, I think that what's happened in Southampton is absolutely absurd, and of course, especially the run up to Christmas is not great at all. We're talking about an average rise of about £2.50 a month. It isn't a significant amount of money in totality. Of course, the companies wanted more. And you know, Owen spoke about the fact that shareholders in these water companies have taken huge amounts of dividends. We also know that these companies are doing very badly financially. Thames Water is in more than £16 billion of debt. They are asking for lifetime support from creditors. So there really is a question about where the money is going to come from. If the cost of water goes up, it makes sense that the price also goes up. However, the price mechanism is not working here. I agree with Owen that the system itself is broken. I just disagree with
the privatisation should never have happened.
No, that privatisation didn't happen properly. It happened in 1989, and what happened was the government created these monopolies and then sold them to the private sector. The reason why privatisation works in so many other sectors is because people have choice, and there's competition between providers. We don't have that in water.
Just on that,
Rail.
England and Wales are the only place on earth where the entire water industry has been privatised. That's never happened anywhere else in its entirety. And look, water is a natural monopoly. It's a basic human need. The idea competition is going to work there makes no sense. You could be, unlike me, a passionate supporter of free markets and businesses taking over lots of things, but the idea, the most basic human need, which is a natural monopoly, should be used for profiteers. And you mentioned the debt pile. You're right, £60 billion debt mountain because they can't run the industry properly. We were told they'd manage the industry, but they racked up debt, which they then used for dividends.
This is the exact point. Nationalisation, again, taxpayers would have to foot the bill. The problem is...
That's not an argument that privatisation is right.
But the problem is that we have Ofwat, which decide what the price is, and these companies are saying we need more of that money, we need to increase bills in more so.
Okay.
They're in
We don't have
cahoots.
competition.
Let's get another call. Charlotte is in beautiful Durham. Hi, Charlotte.
Hello.
This is, I mean, you've got your water, I'm hoping, at the moment. You're not in Hampshire, so you're OK there. But
No, that's okay. I've got water, yes.
Excellent. What do you think about these price rises? Do you think they're justified?
No, they're not justified at all. They're only raising the cost of water for the consumer in order to pay failing bosses huge amounts of money. Now, your guest said that nationalisation would cost the taxpayers money. This is why my proposition goes further than nationalisation, and I'm talking about requisition of the water companies to bring them back into public ownership.
So you just seize the shares?
Absolutely.
Is it because
Seize
they
them,
tried that with
snatch them,
they
whatever
tried
you
that with the
wanna call it.
railways?
That's like communism.
Well-
you cannot just seize assets.
I think they should
We're
go,
out of
people should go to
options.
prison. Let's just go for it.
Everyone go to prison.
Not
just
everyone
people
goes
you
to
don't like.
prison.
That's
But the
absurd.
fact is, they're talking about introducing criminal liability for water bosses, so I don't think it's that absurd.
You want shareholders to go to prison?
No, not shareholders. The bosses of these companies, which are literally risking our public health by ensuring the sewage in our water. People have probably died
This
because
is a
of
And
different
they're
thing.
saying they need
Charlotte,
money.
your suggestion is you simply seize the shares. Would you give any warning or just do it on a Tuesday morning?
There'll probably be some warning, but I'd like to say that I'm old enough to remember the original campaigns of advertisement when they did this, when they privatised the utilities, and there's the famous Tell Sid.
Tell Sid, yeah.
Sid was just your average sort of bloke who could perhaps go along and buy a few shares. But now it isn't like that, and private individuals can't buy shares specifically in Thames Water. They're not traded on stock.
Reem,
Private individuals
yeah.
can.
It's only foreign conglomerates.
Okay, Charlotte, thank you.
Charlotte, what you're proposing is completely seizing assets off of people. With again, this is entirely immoral.
There's an easy way of doing it. Just swap the shares for government bonds. That's how you do it, by the way. And that
You don't think you should?
Well, no,
they didn't do it. Do you remember they
that
did?
would be less
Hang on.
immoral, but it would be.
They
it would
did
be,
it with Network Rail. I don't know if you remember, where they
They
tried
did do it
and
with
they
Network
ended up in
Rail.
the government and Stephen Byers ended up in a legal action because the shareholders' value was suddenly destroyed.
Yeah.
And so but I'm
Well,
not,
yeah, if you say you're gonna nationalise something in advance, the share then collapses, and then
Yeah,
you buy
of
it on
course.
the cheap.
Yeah.
absolutely unprecedented levels of government intervention.
Okay. We did
with
The
rail track.
problem, and it's wrong. It's absolutely
rail track,
wrong.
I meant, sorry, not
What we-
rail
track.
What
Yeah, no,
we
rail track.
actually want, what we actually want, is water bills to be cheaper, and the way that we do that is for the price mechanism in the actual market. We don't have that. What we currently have is a government-created monopoly that's been sold to the private sector, and the prices are being decided by a government regulator.
Okay. Charlotte,
we don't
thank you.
have privatisation.
you've got to regulate markets. That's the thing, haven't you? Paul in Kent, hello. Wow, the first time on this show we've had silence. It's such a
Hello.
beautiful noise.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, sorry. Go on, Paul, you're on.
hello?
Are you watching your TV, Paul?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, mate.
I've got it switched.
Can you see that sign?
What's going on, Paul? What's happening?
We want to hear
You know that
from
thing
you.
in the 70s where the satellites took a long time?
Yeah.
He might be in a very remote
Maybe
location.
he's in Mars.
He-
He's like another
Maybe
planet.
he's an alien.
Let's keep it serious, Owen, for God's sake. Sharon in Sharon, oh my goodness, have you not got water either, Sharon?
That's correct. No, I have no water.
Well, I am so sorry. I heard it this morning. I thought it's the biggest story of the day, that if you're in Southampton, you've got no water and you may not have it for Christmas. And I know they say you will, but they sounded, the spokesman sounded totally clueless. So what's the prospect, Sharon? What have you been told?
Excuse me. The problem is, I have cancer, and I'm just being treated for cancer, and I'm supposed to keep hydrated. And no, I'm on the priority list, and nobody has been to my flat to give me any water. I went all day yesterday, and I never had any water at all.
Oh, that's
My
awful.
son
Can you get, if they
managed-
sell you a bottled water in the shops just to drink or anything like that?
But what my problem is I'm housebound. I can't go out. I can't leave my home on my own, and they said they would deliver, and nothing's come. And my son yesterday evening managed to get me one bottle of fruit water.
Okay, I never know whether that's as good,
It's not. It makes you even more thirsty, to be honest.
It's so sweet. Listen, Sharon, thinking of you. Thank you. I hope they get it back on for you. They seem to be saying that they can't turn it on too quickly because then the system seizes up. I mean, it sounds that they're doing something Victorian.
Failings, huge failings. And the fact that we've seen these kind of failings and those companies can't fail is proof that this is not privatisation. This is not a market.
But it is. It's the most privatised system on earth.
Privatised monopolies.
It couldn't be more privatised.
If this was an actual market, if we saw this level of failing, these businesses would fail.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Reem, Owen, Sharon. Stay with